The City of Johannesburg Emergency Medical Services and Environmental Health officials are conducting inspections in the Johannesburg CBD. The collective, led by the MMC for Public Safety Mgcini Tshwaku, is currently gathered in Marshalltown at a building that's believed to have been hijacked. The structure allegedly contains shacks, illegal power connections and other structural risks to occupants in the surrounding area. Now, to get a first-hand account of the state of the building, Newzroom Afrika's Violwetu Yamba has joined the operation and brings us an update. Good to speak to you this afternoon. We can see from these images that you are on a tour, if you will, of this building, joining the city leadership in this inspection. Just paint a picture of us. What can you see and what seems to be out of turn, if you will?
Well, Hugo, what we are seeing here is a building that it looks like a very, hijacked building. We are seeing, some structures built inside this building. As you can see, the MMC is here and trying to see if the building is complying to the bylaws and also some rules as well. In fact, let me just steal a minute from him as we speak. MMC, thank you so much for your time.
Yes, sir.
I mean, your overall view of what we are seeing at this point?
Look, this building, we did inspect it before, and then we've given the people a warning. We've warned them in terms of it does not comply with the Fire Brigade Act, so they must remove the structures. You're going to see upstairs, even west, they've got shacks, normal shacks, that they can catch fire at any time. So we've given them a notice that they must demolish those shacks. And also there was illegally connected electricity, quite a lot. Okay, though they haven't done that. So now we come here to really check if they've removed it, because we gave them that they must remove. So the next time when we come, we're going to come with our bylaw unit and with a more 4-pounder. We're going to take this building down. And then also most of the people that are staying here, we've got an audit. Almost 90% of them are the things undocumented foreigners coming from Zimbabwe, coming from Malawi, coming from Kenya and Somalia. Right. So we told them that Home Affairs must come in and do its stuff, check them out, check if they're undocumented. They can process them into they must take them to the station and all of that and process them. And then secondly, we told them that they must go and get another accommodation because this place is going to be mothballed. Some of them we did tell them, give them the notices. So when we come here, this place is going to be mothballed. If there's any problem, most of them are using Siri, by the way. They are using Siri, and Siri sometimes does not know that, but these people are being opportunistic, because that PI Act is meant for the vulnerable. But these hijackers now are using that clause of alternative accommodation to really stall the process and using Siri indirectly. But because you've got a lot of 90% of illegal foreigners staying in the building, it's going to be easy. Home Affairs is going to do that. But most of them, they just run away. When we come in, as you can see now as well. When you come back, the building is going to be mothballed. And the owner has reached out to us. He's been threatened. By the way, there are this is the fourth generation of hijackers now. All the three have killed each other. There's a war zone here because you are collecting almost between 100,000 to 150,000 rand a month here in this one here. So the third generation of hijackers, they've killed themselves. So this is the fourth one. So when we come back, so they actually been threatening the owners as well. That's why we don't go with owners, because there's a bullet in the name there's a name of the owner and the bullet, right? It has been assigned to them. So we don't want owners to really come with us, but he's ready with the security. One that the security they're coming next week. They are going to be taking down some of these buildings, some of the structures here, mothball it, piped up and everything, and whoever is here, actually must leave.
MMC, you were mentioning that this is the fourth generation of the people who used to own this building. Do you perhaps maybe know them?
No, the fourth generation of hijackers. Oh. Hijackers are killing each other. Now, the committee that is established here, they've got people who come and collect. So those ones who are collecting, the thugs, they kill each other. Then the new collectors and the third one. So this is the fourth one. And this is a very violent building. That's why I said, when we're starting now with this, we've done Bryanston and all the other houses. So the first building we're going to clean up is this one. Then we're moving to Venin Court. Then we're going to move to that one. But I know the city is working very hard on the Venin Court because it's a bit bigger. But there's another ones that I've identified, 10 of them, that we have to come in, we have to seal it up and then get the owner. But of course, these owners, what is nice about this owner, he's very active. He wants this building. He wants to refurbish it and turn it into a student accommodation. But the other ones that we have, they are not around. They are overseas, majority of them, quite a lot of them. Hence now that motion that was passed by the EFF caucus, but 2016-27, so it said to expropriate buildings that have no owners or derelict without compensation. We need to enforce it because if those buildings are standing still without any owners, they become abandoned. And remember, these are private buildings. So that motion is actually kicking now a bylaw or a policy that the city can actually form. And of course, we've got the Expropriation Act now that has been passed by Parliament. We can now, if we cannot find the owners of the buildings, the city can take those buildings and then we can refurbish and ensure that they are fine.
Okay. MMC, do you maybe... do you think maybe you can quantify at this point the people that live here?
Yes. We had, last time when we checked, we had plus minus 150 shacks, meaning that we have probably close to about 200 people that are staying here. They're all squashed like sardines. It's very unhealthy. This is not nothing compared to what you see upstairs. Upstairs is that shacks, like literally, and they are like side by side. You can see that when we go up, maybe we go to one or two floors. And then if you go up there, I mean, it's almost the same. And then the ablution facilities at the rooftop, I won't go there. It's full of feces up there. They use it as an ablution facility up there. So this place is very bad. And I'm willing to go to court. If I have to ask and explain myself in court, I will go and explain myself that my conscience doesn't want me, it will not allow me to really leave the people in these conditions. I've spoken to many of the people who are actually paying rent they can afford. Can they please go and find alternative accommodation? I mean, the rent here is anything between 1.4 and 2,000 here. So they can get like a very affordable accommodation somewhere else. But this building, we need to reclaim it and we need to mothball it.
I mean, where do you think these people should move to after this?
No, there are people who are able, who can afford. There are areas within the city where they can rent. They are nice, they are easily controlled, there's proper access. This building does not have any access. Anyone who just wants to sleep, they can come in and sleep, right? So they are, especially I mean, for example, those houses that we raided yesterday, the guys are paying rent anywhere between 2,000 and 300, and they are paying religiously. If you go, we even said to them, we are even offering our services to look for any accommodation somewhere else, because there are places like around Maboning, you can get other areas probably around Bree, and there are affordable places where you can pay anything between 1.4 and 2,000 a month. But you cannot stay in this building. This building is actually not in a good condition at all. And we are going to reclaim it. I can tell you right now, if it is the last thing I really have to do, then this building is going to be closed. Whether people are going to come and say what to me, I really don't care anymore. Because first thing first is that the death of Warris actually kicked in something. I was sort of now having a plan in terms of doing these inspections, doing my traffic work, and also doing some bylaw. But I said, you know what? This thing now, it has actually heightened up quite a lot, this thing of this building again. Because when we did it before on Manjanamkanj, when we've launched it, we disrupted the whole system. And it was a bit quiet. There was not a lot of killing that is actually happening. Again now, this killing has started to resurface again. These guys, there's a turf war now between these gangs who have hijacked these buildings. We were also waiting for the court processes, which are taking too long, and all of that. So we sat with the guy, said, look, if we can use our Fire Brigade Act, the emergency, said that we are moving these people because of emergency and all of that, and some of the people we can help them to relocate because some of them can afford. This is what we're actually going to be doing. We're going to be very patient. Of course, looking into the PI Act as well, but we're going to move the people. They have to be moved. If a person said I must go and answer to the judge, I'm prepared to do that. If the judge says that I'm wrong, then it will be the public to say.
MMC, I'm sorry to cut you off just like that. I mean, the death of Warris, as you mentioned, it has sparked a lot of public interest. Now, the question would be, was there a plan from the get-go in terms of hijacked buildings?
Yes, there is a bed building strategy. It's going to be passed by council in the maybe next year in the first or second council. It has been there before. You can ask our colleague that's been there, but we've been changing it. There's some nitty-gritties that they were not happy about, and then when we're reading it as well. But that bed building strategy, the committee that is dealing with bed building is sitting with the office of the COO, the COO. There is a team there that consists of JMPD, consists of all the stakeholders, GFITs. They know the number of buildings that they need to, that they need to recover. I mean, I can tell you now there are about 2 or 3 buildings now that the owners have approached the city and say that we are going to offer people alternative accommodation, but what they requested from us was to waiver the rates, and we did that. We waiver their rates. Others were owing 1 million, others 2.5 million, others 4 million. We say that we're going to waiver this on provided that you're going to reclaim this building, take these people and provide alternative accommodation. So there is a plan. It's definitely there. But as us, as the JMPD and the bylaw unit, we're actually doing our oversight work. Where we are able to reclaim this building using, using the loopholes that are there. For example, this one here, and then also you find that the building, you've got undocumented foreigners which don't need the PI Act because they're not covered by the PI Act, So I mean, but some of them are undocumented because when I come, they just run away. So the building becomes vacant. It's only for the owner must come in, bring in a private security, and secure the building. If I was the owners, I would be having a contractor ready to really start with the work and have a very strong security. Of course, I'm giving it my word that I'm going to be also helping them through the help of the CCTV unit that is operating within the CBD and also through the TRU. What happened to DJ Warris is actually unacceptable. We pass our condolences to the family. Have you seen that I will go and see the family afterwards, but we are looking for the killer of DJ Warris. I want to go to the family and say that, look, this is what we've done. This is what we're actually doing on our side. For me to really see a very young and energetic individual with a huge potential being killed like that, it's not very nice at all. It actually brought me quite a lot of anger inside, and I didn't even go to the memorial service and probably even the funeral, because I think that the family needs some answers. They don't need us to really go there and just be chief mourners and everything. We have to ensure that the legacy of DJ Warris is carried on. And the operation actually that we did that was very radical was actually dedicated to him to ensure that the work that he was doing, a good work, but he did a very good work, by the way, there, because there was no order in terms of the biometrics. There was no order in terms of the access. So the access, he was putting in some biometrics so that they can control the access, putting in some CCTV to ensure that there's access there. So the guys got pissed because of that, because these buildings, they just let people to come in and all of that. So he actually put in some good electrical cubing, some DB boards. They're quite new. There's project good. Luminescence lighting was very good. You can see that the building was starting to be proper. So I saw that good work, and I tell them that even the owner of that building, that whoever is going to be going there and continue with the work is going to be guarded by the TRU and the CCTV, and ensure that building is completed. The security is not going to be alone. So in this building, the contractors, when they're doing the work, and you've got these hijackers, which are very dangerous, by the way, we're going to have our units being with them and actually working with them as well.
MMC, before I let you go, let's talk about these buildings. How many of them that are still left that you're still going to look into?
It's just quite a lot. The hijacked building, you're looking about plus minus about 500 to 600 roughly. That's the figure. And then the public buildings is anywhere between 30 and 35 buildings. That the ones which are public, and the rest is actually privately owned. So what we say to the guys is, I'm actually reaching out to the owners. They've got our numbers. Let us come in, and it's time for us to really act now. Let us find a way. I'm thinking we must fight it off. We should all be inspired with the work that the mayoral committee, including ourselves, we did at the De Villiers. The matter has been in court. There'll be a lot of lawyers, bogus lawyers in the city, trying to fight the city, cleaning that area there. Remember the issue of the street traders. So we're very bold enough. We're saying that we are going to remove them. We're going to remove them, and we will see to finish in court. So we argued in court in terms of what is happening, what it means to have unregulated, the street trading there. So the court actually really listened to us. So even with this building, I think it is high time that we should be bold. Let us not be scared, because every time when we act, I can tell you, I always get calls. Even the time we went about that operation at Zambezi, some bogus lawyers were calling left, right, and center, the commissioner, the city lawyers everywhere. I said to them that I'm going to be bold enough. I'm not going to stop anymore. I'm not going to be afraid of jail. And, I respect the court quite well. I'm able to stand to the charge, and then we can explain ourselves the condition that the people are finding themselves into. So I think we've reached that point now. What the strategy we applied in Delva said that in the name of cleaning the area and also avoiding some disaster, because there were a lot of people that were there, is that we have to remove the people. And we are willing to give them maybe some other spaces to really trade. This is the approach we're going to do here. If we're being asked to come to court, we are going to ask them to come to court. I know that the commission, they did what is called an inspection in situ of the building, the south, because my argument was to say, how can I be in my conscience leave people staying in these bad buildings, whereas now myself in public safety, I'm waiting for the alternative accommodation, which is not within my powers. So, of course, there was different arguments. People are coming from somewhere. They're coming from somewhere. We check them, where you're coming from. Can we help you to get where you have to go? Other people are affording, so we have to help them to go and get an alternative accommodation within the city. As I told you, that rent is somewhere between 1.5 and 2,000. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying that we have reached that point. I mean, DJ Warris is just now acted as a huge catalyst to saying that, look, his death must not be in vain. Something has got to give, and enough is enough. I know people say that, we're saying this because of his death, but it just invoked this emotion to saying that, waiting for all these processes, having meetings, strategy meetings, of which we've been attending in the province, in the city, everywhere, bad being studied. Say, let me just do this thing. But by the way, we had sort of our closure within the city, and we're just now doing our maintenance in terms of our phase 1 implementation of the festive season campaign. I said, probably I'm not going to be going out I'm not going to go out on the holiday sort of, and we're going to be focusing on this. And I just even contacted now some of the city lawyers to look at deeper in terms of what arguments can we use so that we can clear up the people. But I can tell you now, when we're going to give them a notice, we're going to come back again and check if now indeed Rasta is taken out, whatever mattresses here, and then on top, the people have removed. We're going to give them an instruction again that those shacks, when we come back, they're not supposed to be there. All right? We're not going to be remove the people outside of the building. Say that get out of the shacks, which are inside this building. Go out, we're going to demolish them. All right? They're upstairs. Okay, so that's what we're actually basically going to be really doing. And then we're going to come back again. If they're not, then we're going to bring our people. Then we're going to bring our people. We're going to demolish the shacks. Of course, we're not taking people outside, but we're evicting people. We're saying that we don't want shacks here. Right? So it's actually going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, this thing. This is my city. And I'm the MMC for public safety. Anything that actually happens here and people get getting injured, I'm the one people calling all the time. And I don't sleep. So it's not going to be an issue. Yeah, well.
Thank you so much for your time, MMC. Well, that's the MMC of Public Safety right there, Dr. Mgcini Tshwaku, giving us a plan about this building and also some of, the buildings that have been hijacked in, Joburg. We have seen a couple of those. We have seen him, being a very active person, closing down some of these buildings. Now we are moving to the next floor of the building where he says it's almost the same as this one. At this point, he is trying to evict everyone. He says, of course, there is a plan from Gauteng that will work together with the people who live here. As we were trying to enter this place, Hugo, we saw some children, we saw some babies, we saw some, ladies who were walking around. It's actually a dark building, broken windows, spider webs. There are mattresses. What you are seeing right now is one of the structures that are built inside this building. I would, at this point, say it's as I'm trying to catch my breath, it's a 5-story. I would say it's a 5-story or more than that. It's a 6-story confirmed. It's a 6-story building. First 2 stories of the building, or first 2 floors of this building, it's where people are living. As you can see on your picture, Hugo, these are the structures that are being built here inside. Hugo, as I catch my breath, my guy.
Yeah, Luetu, we see that there's a conversation going on with what we suspect might be one of the inhabitants. Maybe we can have a listen in before you carry on this tour.
Yeah. These shakes and folds. Because as soon as it's safe, somewhere else.
Okay.
But not this week, the following week. Yeah, but following
uphuza kanti njani
uyanini ekhaya lona ehla nini
ngisuka khona ngibuye manje June 1 bezithi 1 June bengibuye ekhaya April lonke mina ngiqede ekhaya December
ikhona nje le msinga bayalima abantu bakhona kuyaphila
ungakhuluma ngokulima wonke umuntu uphila edrobheni akekho umuntu othanda ukuphila ekhaya yebo kuyalinywa kithi kunamasimu
inkomo nezimbuzi
zonke bonke ngisuka khona nje angithi ngiyasho
okay.
Well, that's one of the people who live here, Hugo. I mean, we will just keep trying moving around so that we can show you exactly what we are seeing here, Hugo. I'm trying my best to bring you here using our visuals. Of course, we are still on the second floor of this building, a 6-story building that has been hijacked. It's a frenzy for media, and also it's a playground for us as the media. It's a building, Hugo, that has illegal connections in terms of electricity, in terms of water. The smell here is unbearable. The doors, you can see, Hugo, that some people here are living here illegally. What you're seeing in the picture right now, it's definitely one of the structures inside this building, 2nd floor to be exact, Hugo. Children are playing outside. There are people who are moving out, as you heard from the MMC. He made it clear that they have a plan as the municipality.
Being illegally occupied.
Yes, it was like that. But you'll find that, and as we're doing this blitz, I'm going to take you to warehouses where there was a business area. I occupied Bafagama shacks all the way straight here.
Here in Marshalltown, along this stretch of street where we are, how many buildings are hijacked in this street in Marshalltown?
No, you got about 2 or 3 around here in Marshalltown, but it's clean. Right here, it's quite clean on this side. Yeah, most of the building that we're going to go to now is JP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
MMC giving us an update right there, Hugo, telling us what's next from here and also giving us an update of how many buildings left in Marshalltown that needs, his attention. Let's listen again.
I don't want to say nice, is that when we bring home affairs, those who are undocumented, they just run away. Yeah. And then the South African which are here, we're going to give them alternative accommodation. We do have shelters that we have as a city. And also we do have tents, because this is going to be an emergency evacuation. As you can see, there's illegal connection of electricity. This can burn. So this one, we've got a report now.
Well, we'll see if we can move, Hugo. We'll see if we can move. He's really busy for the media. It's a very small space as well for us to move as we're trying to move around and show you what we are seeing here, Hugo. We understand at this point that one of the things that these people who live here is illegal water connections and illegal, electricity connections. We are trying to move around and we are trying to, show you around what we are seeing here. Trying to read that. It's an International Gambling Council Certificate Board. MMC, maybe I can... He's still busy with the ENCA on the other side.
The narrative that is prevailing online. Yeah. So what you are doing is content creation. And it's only because Warris has done.
Okay. As we're trying to listen to the MMC again, just to get a reaction of what this International Gambling Council Certificate Board means.
No, I've got nothing to say. Yeah, if they say it's content creation, so what? It's okay. They've been calling me all the names, but I'm just focusing on my work. All right. Yeah, but they're going to see what we've actually been doing. We've been everywhere. And I even told my other colleagues that, in terms of the matrix for the festive season, the inspection of the buildings and reclaiming them, it was part of it as well. We've been replanning and also stabilizing BMU. Now, the death of Warwick actually sparked some really inside anger with me that this is actually must not be any talk show anymore, because we've been having meetings in the city, we've been having meetings on the provincial establishment of this bad buildings team. That's why in the city there's a bad building strategy. It's there. It's supposed to be adopted in the 2/3 council before, but there was something that we had to change. There's a committee that is sitting with the COO. So you had to let that committee to do its work. Yeah, so, but it has been doing its work. As I said to some of my colleagues now, that there are other buildings that have been reclaimed, the Moth building and some of the buildings, but those ones, we don't actually publish them. I think there was some statement that actually came out, but there's a bad building strategy there. It's in force. There are buildings that we are reclaiming. Owners have come forward saying that they're going to provide alternative accommodation. So whether you're saying that I'm doing content creation, it's up to you. But I'm just going to be focusing on my work. The only thing I can say is that anything happens in my city, there'll be crime and all this bad building here, the war is being declared. So that is going to happen here. We're going to be fighting up an institute and nail. Remember also, we have to be careful with this thing because matters are sub judice. Matters are in court. So if you go around court cases and you undermine them, you'll be in contempt of court, you can be arrested. So you need to tread very carefully. We've been sitting and check what are the means that we can use to deal with these bad buildings. The other one is the Fire Brigade Act. It worked in the Bryanston House, and I saw it. Because we told the people that we're not taking you out of the building, but we're saying that these shacks are not allowed. And I'm not going to allow the shacks. I can tell right now. You can come and say whatever you want to say. These shacks are going to go. They're going to be down. I'm not taking people outside, but the shacks which have a potential of killing people, I'm going to demolish them.
Are you facing as much opposition evicting people from buildings in Bryanston as you are in the CBD?
No.
Or it's
Nothing.
completely different?
No, it's not. There is quite. I just tell them that within 7 days they must move. And most of the people there anyway are undocumented foreigners. So mangbuya ngithe madoda ngiyabuya ziyakhala. Mangbuya everyone is out. And we've flattened out most of the when the houses. So I've been telling people that I said I'm willing to stand in front of the judge just to tell him the reason why we're doing what we're doing. Because if we wait for too long, people are going to die here. People are going to die. Look, there's how I'm saying that it's unfortunate that this thing is really happening. I mean, what happened to DJ Warris is actually quite very painful to me. It brought in memories because it's not DJ Warris alone that has been killed here. There's a guy called Jonathan. Jonathan Hogan? Jonathan, he was operating around Bryanston. He was killed. There's another guy, an Italian guy operating around JP Street. What was his name again? What's his name again? But there are people who are security owners and building owners, and they're taking initiative to reclaim these buildings, but they get assassinated. Warris was another victim that is actually there. But there's a strategy within the city, but we are just thought with this festive season, let us put it into the matrix and then elevate it. That was encouraging what happens in Bryanston because there are really people are moving away and it's getting clean. So I said, you know what, let us revisit what we had last time because courts told us that we must relocate people and we must give them alternative accommodation. But what clicked in my mind was to saying that actually I'm not taking them out of the building. I'm just taking this hazardous material. This hazardous must go down, and it's going to go down. If maybe I must go in and argue in court, then I'm going to argue in court. But unfortunately, the people, I'm going to take them outside. But I will say that the structure, they must go. Right, yeah, that's what I can just say.
Well, the MMC basically telling us his plans over there. And Hugo, what we are saying that there are some people who sell food here as well. And at this point, I can tell you that the MMC is not really working alone on this. There's also emergency management services and environmental health officials and other stakeholders that are also here as we are trying to move around and show you exactly what we are seeing. The breach of electricity is one of the things he mentioned as earlier when we were talking to him, saying now he is planning to, demolish some of these structures that are here, and that's the plan that he has. There are people here who live here, Hugo. There are couches here, which is, I would say at this point, it's a symbol of, people living comfortably. And it's a pretty busy building. The people who stay here, I'm not sure if they may be aware of the bylaws, as you had the MMC earlier on saying that they will be back to enforce the bylaws, by the way. And maybe now let me try to find, one of the people, I just saw someone here. Okay, I think they're running away from us, but this is what we are seeing here at this point, Hugo. It's like people were doing their laundry as well. It's crazy. I'm looking outside and it's
Hi,
not...
I hope you can... Lwethu, can you hear me?
...would leave on, Hugo. I can hear you loud and clear, Hugo.
Fantastic. So a couple of issues come to mind. I mean, we go back to the Usindiso building, August 2023, and 77 people having died. And part of the reasons that many of those individuals died was because there were no fire escapes or certainly the ability of people to exit the building in terms of danger were missing. Just how much of that have you been exposed to in your tour of this building? One of the things that you spoke about moments ago was the industry, if you will, that's going on. There seems to be a little ecosystem, and we could see from the fruit and vegetable stand that obviously some people are running businesses. We see what I'd imagine are illegal electrical connections. I'd imagine the same for water. Is there any service delivery? We've seen in parts of the building that there's piles of rubbish that are collecting. Just possibly give us some answers to those questions and thoughts that some of our viewers might have as you walk through this building.
Well, what we're getting here, Hugo, is that this building is believed to contain an internal shacks and illegal, subdivisions posing significant fire, health, and structural risk to occupants and surrounding areas. So this is exactly what we are saying. This is what we were talking about, what I was talking about when I was mentioning that there are people who sell food. It looks like basically a informal settlement, if you think about it, because there's people who are selling, there's people who live on the other side, there's water running, there's, it's not a good, place for people to live in. Maybe Sisi, I can steal your time? She says no. She says no. What of the people who live here? It's really the smell tells it all, Hugo, as well, that people are not supposed to live in this place, but because people are forcing it. We understand, Hugo, this is not a new thing. It's something that has been happening for some time, the hijacking of buildings in Gauteng. And at this point, we are looking at something, which is not really good for the kids, because there are kids here as well. And where I'm standing right now, the smell is just unbearable, Hugo.
Maybe you could ask one of those individuals to speak to you off camera. Certainly some questions that are coming to mind, and why anyone would pay the sort of sums of money that they're paying to live in an establishment such as this, which is devoid of security. I mean, the greatest amounts of potential risks, particularly for children. You've spoken about seeing little children wandering about in this building as if everything is all right. And I suppose for some of them, they've been born into this sort of environment. We did see in the pictures a woman that had a baby on her back.
Hugo, we were trying to push our luck with that one, but they refused to speak to us. The people here, Hugo, who you rightfully say that might be born here, and it's really crazy to see that people are raising kids in a place like this one. I mean, what you're saying, Hugo, is one of these places where people are living. We are not sure this 101 here is a loo or it's a shower or someone lives in there. It's really not a good condition or a nicer place to live.
The MMC earlier, Luetu, spoke about having carried out an inspection some time ago and obviously given a warning to these individuals that are living in this building, which has been confirmed as being hijacked. Does he accept any responsibility? I mean, what is the process? You come in, you see that individuals are living illegally. Just how much time do you give them, and are these individuals protected by any laws?
Well, Hugo, I'm trying to push my luck right here with the people who live here. Well, I did not really get your question, but we will keep moving around and maybe try to, push more luck with the people who live in this building. But at this point, we are not really getting some luck. Maybe let's try with you, my guy. Thank you very much for your time. And how long have you been living here?
Ayikudala kakhulu ko manje ngixa ukuthi mina makuthiwa hijackiwe enthina la sihleli sahlala ngenkantolo sinamaphepha lokho yebo so lo umuntu loyo osho kanjalo umuntu yena ofuna ukwenza izinto zakhe ngoba sesithumelele kaningi abantu la sifike silokhu ngama security afike sihlebela ama security ethi hayi siyabona ukuthi la lo muntu nathi usenzisa into engayona kuke kwafika ama bounce kuyo nonyaka yebo ufika ama-bounce athi azokhipha abantu athi abambise abantu i-meeting sagcina sikhuluma nawo siye saya le sawuripota le reportwa khona amaphoyisa ngoba into yakhona kwathi uyinephoyisa phakathi kunephoyisa elibhizi elihijacka amabhelidi la edrobhini elisebenzisana nabantu uyabona abathile so lokho nje esikuloko asikwazi sineminyaka sihlala la and sibuya sinamaphepha okuhlala la.
I mean, uthi kudala kuthunyelwa abantu apha. Lo nto naye nathini kumuntu wokuqala weyifikile apha.
Safike samkhombisa amaphepha yokuthi sihleswe inkantolo. If yena ethi uyasikhipha ngoba uthi uyasikhipha, akasikhombise iphepha elithi uyasikhipha and then sihambe siye enkantolo siyoyiqeda enkantolo. Sifuna ukutshelwa inkantolo ukuthi siyaphuma. Not yena. Sambiza sathi akeze la wathumela abantu abazosilokhunga lo nkulumo leyo yabo, and then ekugcineni wangeza wabaleka.
Ukusukela ngoko kwaye kwenzeka ntoni and nifike ngomphi unyaka lo muntu yena wazofika ngomphi unyaka?
Kahle uqale yena uqala kwakhe lento. Kahle lo engimcabangayo uqale last year. Uqale last year ukufika ngoba omunye abanye babo baze bathi la siyabona ukuthi abantu abavimbile laba bahlala bali sathi thina kunekomiti la ilele sahamba nalosana bathi siyabona ukuthi abantu abavimbile baze babiza mina bangibizela otshwaleni emaboneni bangithengela khona utshwala ukuthi asidede.
Masithethe nge-services kuba nihlala apha ke ngoku nizifumana njani zona?
Ya into esiyenzayo la sihlanganisa imali nje yokuklina ngoba khona abantu abakhelesa umuntu yabo nje udoti kanjani nangaliya yabo silokhu ngisihlanganisele lo mali leyo sikhiphe lo 200 100 kwesinye isikhathi sicela indlu nendlu ukuthi ke besilokhu sibhadala umuntu osiklinelayo.
Zeziphi services
abaklinayo bawu2 khona oklina umfana oklina ngaliya la umuntu osifazana akangakhona ukufika khona yabo kube khona umuntu osifazane oklina ngaphakathi nje ukuthi ke ngoba kunjena ke uyabona ukuthi kunjani vele abantu bakhelesi nje vele kungcola into ehlezi ikhona kodwa nje sinabantu abawu2.
I mean, onto MMC nihlala ngokungekho semthethweni and still niyabhadala for e-services. Just your reaction to that?
Ayi asibhadali thina sikhipha imali ngenyanga yomuntu oklinayo yabantu abaklinayo abawu2 sikhipha lo mali. Bona mhlambe laba ngibazi ke labo MC laba basho kanjalo ukuthi bayitshele ubani ngoba thina njoba ngisho ukuthi thina sihleli nje la zonke into is right.
Thank you, Puti. Well, that's one of the residents here telling us exactly how they live here, telling us also that they put money together as the people who live here. They pay for people to come in, 2 people to come in and clean this place. The other one cleans outside, the other one cleans inside. They are fully aware that when they moved here, someone was sent to basically evict them, but they are not planning to move anytime soon, Hugo.
Real way to Yamba, coming to us from Johannesburg's CBD, where he's present with the MMC and being taken on a tour of that hijacked building, just walking us through that rather gruesome story, if you will, on how people live, the life that they're having to endure. In fact, an ecosystem that's flourishing. All of this in this building that's been hijacked. The last individual that he spoke to has been there for several months and speaks of not paying anything towards service delivery, but obviously engaging in 1 or 2 people that come and clean up. Talks of bouncers and other men being sent to come in and collect monthly rentals from them, and also allegations that there are some police officers that are involved. If we appreciate your time, that's where we'll leave that conversation. I'm sure in the next hour you'll continue it with Thabo Mdluli.